This audiobook is based on our book about a key philosophical principle in medicine, without which a true understanding of human health is impossible. We extend the previously formulated principle of disease optimality to human health and human life, not only at the individual, but also at the societal level. In this chapter, we are talking about technologies and the limits of optimization. The technological breakthrough in medicine, artificial intelligence, and bioengineering is increasingly presented as an assault on the wall of human limits, aimed at demolishing it entirely. Within the framework of the principle, however, their role is different. These are not tools for abolishing death, but instruments of precise navigation within an already given boundary of functional stability. They allow us to see the price of adaptation before the system begins to pay it, transforming blind motion in the dark into conscious maneuvering. We are not constructing a new, boundless biology, but more densely filling the allotted interval with functionality, meaning, and controllability, without altering the fact of the entropic ceiling. A striking example of such navigation is the creation of digital twins of the organism, which represent a new level of the acceptor of the result of action, extending beyond individual consciousness. By aggregating vast arrays of parameters from genome and epigenetic profiles to sleep patterns and social interaction, these systems allow us to foresee how today's decisions shift the trajectory toward an optimal well-span or toward accelerated degradation. The digital twin becomes a test ground on which different life scenarios can be modeled, and those selected that minimize the accumulation of systemic errors. In this way, we bring a person's real path closer to their theoretical maximum of quality, markedly shrinking the area of premature collapses into pathological regimes before they manifest on the physical level. A second example involves direct interventions in the biological structures over which evolution has withdrawn oversight after the end of the reproductive period. Regenerative medicine, genome editing, and senolytics make it possible to correct defects in specific system nodes, turning the sheer cliff of aging into a gentler slope. Removal of senescent cells that poison the tissue microenvironment and correction of somatic mutations slow the accumulation of deep-level errors that previously drove the organism inexorably toward its end. This does not abolish the entropic ceiling, but it allows the system to remain in a high-efficiency mode much longer, slowing avalanche-like breakdown and restoring elements of the single-use carrier that nature never intended to maintain indefinitely. The highest contemporary expression of mastering the principle is the strengthening of consciousness as the chief organ of self-regulation through neurointerfaces and intelligent, biological feedback systems. These technologies allow a person to perceive disruptions in internal systems long before the first clinical symptoms appear, transforming consciousness from a passive witness of biological wear into an active partner of physiology. By integrating data from body, behavior, and environment into a single decision-making field, we gain a broader range of voluntary control over health. Daily choices from sleep regimen to cognitive workload cease to be chaotic reactions and become deliberate steps in a long-term strategy for optimizing well-span. Despite the power of these tools, the evolutionary principle of generational turnover remains unshaken. Even a perfectly repaired organism remains a carrier of historical states and structural inertia, and life as a process of the universe's self-knowing will always require new points of entry, new generations, with fresh genetic plasticity. Technologies bring us closer to the limit of functional stability, but they do not turn the system into something static. The flow of evolution still proceeds through the succession of carriers. In this context, well-span appears as the harmonization of high technology with natural limits. A person gains the opportunity to live the entire allotted time, at the highest achievable quality, making their individual trajectory a maximally meaningful segment of the larger evolutionary cycle. We will be grateful for your likes and for sharing information about this audiobook with others.